The Wellness Revolution starts now.
Hello, I'm Dr. Steve Hotze. Welcome to our program today. I'm pleased to have a lovely Christian Southern lady, Natalie Burt. Natalie Burt is a fantastic and amazing woman because she is the wife of a hard-driving man by the name of Coach Mike Burt, who's my business coach. And yes. I say she's amazing to be able to keep the guy, trying to keep him under wraps, because he's one of the most dynamic men I know, and he is a real go-getter and a wonderful business coach. As Coach Burt, you can find him online. Just go to Coach Burt. He's been a coach of ours here at the Hotze Health and Wellness Center for at least, 8-10 years, somewhere, a long time. And he's been a tremendous help to us. But anyway, of course, I met Natalie through Mike, Coach Burt. And I was up there and visited in their home in Nashville. I can't remember if my wife was up there for that at that time or not. But anyway, we came up and visited and met Natalie. And at that time, Natalie and Coach Burt, Mike, had one beautiful little daughter by the name of Ella Grace. And I remember Coach was here, coming down here to our center over the years, and he kept going, gee, we just can't seem to have any more kids. We've only had one, and it had been 5 or 6 years. I said, well, get Natalie to come on in, because we help people that have problems getting pregnant with their fertility, and don't have her go to an infertility clinic. Normally, we can help simply by balancing out the hormones. So anyway, Natalie, tell me what happened. Mike came home to you, and what did he tell you? That you ought to come down and see us? Tell us how that conversation went.
He did, and I did not believe him. We had tried, not everything. I was against infertility drugs just because I'd had friends that went that route, and it didn't go well.
I'm glad you didn't go that well. It can be 75% of the people that go to the infertility clinics remain infertile. That's why they call them infertility clinics. Because, and it costs you $50,000, $60,000, I don't know, it's arm and a leg, and it's cash based. And anyway, it's not natural, or it's not the right way to go in our opinion. We think that you simply have to balance out the hormones. So anyway, he convinced you ought to come down.
He did. And I still really did not think I would get pregnant. I was on board for getting as healthy as possible.
Okay, so you came down. You came down to the office back in what year? In 2018.
It was in 2018.
2018. Mm-hmm. You came down, not knowing what to expect. I guess Coach had told you about us here, but when you came in, what was your? When you came up to the office and came into the office, what was your first impression?
It did not feel like a doctor's office at all. It felt almost like I was kind of going to the spa. There's all these people taking care of me, bringing me snacks, and really, really engaged with just me, not getting me in and out the door.
Right.
So I spent a day there, and it was amazing. I had a great experience.
Now, who did you see? Which physician did you see initially?
That was with Angelica.
So you saw Angelica, who's one of our physician's assistants. And at that time, tell me, besides the symptoms of being infertile, what other symptoms did you have? Did you tell me about at that time? Were you having any? How were your menstrual cycles? Were they regular or irregular?
I think they were regular. It was more of just moodiness. I didn't feel like I could control. Very just up and down with no notice.
Right.
And of course that shows up at home. You take that out on everybody, but it was the conversation with you that really changed my mind about, was it possible to be able to have more children? When I just, told you we'd not been able to have another baby for 7 years. And I just thought, that's just what God wanted for us. But you were like, no, like your body is made to have babies and we need to figure out what is off there. And as soon as we figure it out, you're going to get pregnant. And I was just like, okay, I'm trusting you. So 9 months later.
Yeah, so we started you at that time on some thyroid preparation, natural thyroid. We gave you some natural progesterone to take day 15 through 28 because your symptoms with having the premenstrual symptoms that you had indicate that you had lower progesterone levels and you weren't balancing out your estrogen properly. And I know this is if we balance out the female hormones and we give you adequate amount of thyroid hormone. By the way, in the old days before there were blood tests, a common treatment that doctors used back in the 20s and 30s and 40s and 50s, if a woman was infertile, they would start her on a low dose of thyroid. And invariably, they often had success with that. So the thyroid governs your body's metabolism, and the metabolism is your energy production of every cell in your body, including your ovaries. And so you got to have good, healthy ovaries so you produce the right amount of hormones, you produce your eggs, and all that goes well. So we got you up on thyroid, we got you up on progesterone, got you on some vitamins.
Which I will say that my regular OB, everything was normal in those categories.
Right,
so,
he told you everything was normal, you didn't need anything.
That's right.
Well, obviously, it may have been within a wide range of normal, but it wasn't optimal. It's like
or my normal, like what my body really needs.
Right.
Yeah.
So the range of your hormones is determined by a lab, and it's determined by taking the tests of the last 5 or 10,000 people, and they get an average. It's like, think of the bell-shaped curve. In the middle of the bell-shaped curve would be the mean or the average. Then the lab adds 2 standard deviations to each side, which takes in 95% of the population. So think of that bell-shaped curve. 95% of the people fall within that range of being in the bell-shaped curve. So 95. Anytime you do a blood test for hormone levels in a female or for thyroid, it's always going to fall 95% of the time in the wide range of normal. Yet the individual may have clinical symptoms of low progesterone or clinical symptoms of low levels of thyroid. They may not be below the range of normal on a blood test, but clinically they have the symptoms. And we believe that when a person has clinical symptoms of low thyroid or clinical symptoms of low progesterone, we need to add that empirically. You know, the doctors will tell you your blood tests are normal. You just need antidepressants. You just need anti-anxiety medication. That's all you need. You need sleep medication. They'll give you pharmaceutical drugs. Your problem your problem with infertility is not because you don't have the right pharmaceutical drugs or your anxiety or your depression or mood swings or fluid retention, weight gain, headaches. None of these are caused by low levels of pharmaceutical drugs. They're caused because your body is not producing adequate amounts of a natural hormone, or you may be missing some vitamins or minerals. So what we did is we recommended that you get on a little bit of thyroid, get on a little bit of progesterone. So that was back in 2018. What month was that? Do you remember?
I do know it was in the fall. It took about 9 months for that regimen to take effect.
Okay.
Because I got pregnant in September of 2019.
There you go. And I can remember Coach telling me that, and he said you were a little bit surprised.
I was very surprised at how easy it was. And it didn't take a toll on me emotionally like I had seen some of my other friends and what they had been through with other traditional routes. Right. I didn't want to do that. So I was surprised at how easy it was.
So anyway, we had a little Eli, and he was born about 3 years ago, right?
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Then what happened?
Once I stopped nursing, I got back on the progesterone, and we decided to have another baby.
And just like that.
First try.
Just like that.
Like that. Mm-hmm.
So little Emmy was born, and she's how old now?
She just turned a year old.
That's wonderful. So that's such a lovely story. And what had your OB-GYN told you about it? It had been 7 years since, before, even before you saw us. What was your OB-GYN telling you why you couldn't get pregnant?
There was no reason other than we don't really know. I mean, everything is normal. All your labs are normal. And I'm like, but I'm tired, or I have these other things that, were going on with my moods. But according to my labs, it was normal. So the only other option was infertility drugs.
So when you got pregnant and went back to your OB-GYN, did you tell him what
I don't go to her anymore.
You fired her, huh?
She's not my doctor anymore.
So did you go to her for that second baby?
No.
So you went to another OB-GYN?
I did. And he is familiar with everything I was taking with you. And so he's on board with how it came about.
Well, that's great. It's great. I've written a book about this. It's called Hormones, Health, and Happiness. Folks, if anybody watching this program right now wants a copy of this book, Hormones, Health, and Happiness, all you have to do is contact our office here, 281-698-8698. It's on the screen. And just talk to one of the new guest consultants and say, Dr. Hotze offered this book free of charge. We'll ship it to you free of charge. I want you to have that because it can change your life. Every OB-GYN in America should read my book. But it's crazy. I just stumbled on it by listening and asking questions and when things didn't go right. And I learned from other doctors that were practicing the type of medicine I practice now, which is natural approaches to health, how to help women get on a path of health and wellness naturally, as well as men, and how to help women become fertile again. As a matter of fact, you're one of our great success stories. We have a lady that some of our listeners know about by the name of Catherine Ritchie, who's one of our best ambassadors. And she came in after being she was 18 when she had a terrible accident in Russia and never had a menstrual period after that. She got run over by a car, and when she was with her parents at doing Christian missionary work in Russia, of all places, in Moscow, and her sister was killed and she got run over. And then, so she had years of recuperation and never had a period again, and saw 50 doctors, 50 doctors, and ended up at Mayo's Clinic, and they told her she'd never get pregnant again. She had early menopause, never be able to have babies. And her father heard about us and ended up coming in. In fact, he heard about us on Southwest Airline in one of the magazines. I had an advertisement about health and wellness, and he read that and told her to come in. And she goes, I've been to 50 doctors. Nobody can help me. Nobody listens. They don't care. She came in, and within a year, she was pregnant. We got her on progesterone and thyroid. I just saw her, and I will send you, when we finish our program, I will send you as a matter of fact, I'm going to ask James in this program, I'm going to send you her video of Catherine Ritchie. She was just in the office. She's had 7 children now. 7 children. I tell you. And Mayo Clinic said she'd never have a baby, never be able to get pregnant. And all we did was put her on natural thyroid, natural progesterone, balanced out her, got her on a good vitamin program. And I mean, she blossomed, and it's amazing. Her kids are wonderful. They were so cute. You'll see it. She's presented at numerous conferences we've had, and we have a long testimony, but she was in the office the other day, and I saw her with all her kids. I said, let me just get a quick video, 50-second video. And her kids are all screaming and yelling.
All over the place.
It's crazy. So anyway,
that's amazing. So
that's why I knew with you, because what happened to Catherine, of all people, should have never been able to get pregnant, according to all her doctors, conventional doctors, but we simply got her on a simple program. So we help people that are having problem with infertility. We believe that if you're having a problem with infertility, it may be due to a problem with not enough thyroid hormone or imbalance in your female hormones, and we can help balance those out, which will give you an opportunity to potentially become pregnant. So I'm so glad this happened to you, and I look forward to having you in here one day with 7 kids too. That'll be great.
Oh, listen, we're done. We're done. 3's enough for me.
That's what Catherine Ritchie said. She kept coming in, and I say, "Are you pregnant again?" "Yeah." "What number is it? 4, 5?" I saw her about 6 months ago. I went, "Catherine." She went, "Yes." I said, "Number 7?" "Yeah." I went, "My goodness,
awesome.
It's crazy." Well, listen, this is such a great story, Natalie, and
Thank you.
what as you leave and you go away and you think about the Health and Wellness Center, the Hotze Health and Wellness Center, and what we have here, what do you think is the biggest differentiator between our center and our staff here compared to conventional doctors?
Well, I think it starts with you, and I'm so appreciative that I'm going to cry. Really faced a lot of adversity in the beginning to be able to practice this kind of medicine, and went against everything out there so many years ago to help so many people. And so I think it starts with you and your heart to really help people and not just treat people. So it starts with you, and then it trickles all the way down through your staff and the entire center,
Well, thank you for that. I give credit to the wonderful staff that we have. Our team members here just are wonderful, and they have a commitment to helping our guests get on that path of health and wellness naturally. So as you mature, you got energy, vitality, and enthusiasm for life, which you're going to need with those 3 kids, aren't you?
Yes.
And with Mike and with Coach Burt, of all things, to try to keep him under control, you'll need that.
Yes.
So anyway, for all of you listening, if you want to get on a path of health and wellness naturally, don't hesitate to call us. Let me mention one other thing to you, and you mentioned when you came into the office here, it didn't feel like a doctor's office. You may not know, I may have told you this, I've told Coach Burt this. Back in 1996, the president of my company and I, at that time was Monica Ludicky, had read a book and listened to a tape series on the E-Myth by Michael Gerber. And we made a decision at that time that we were going to get out of the practice of medicine and go into the hospitality industry, and within that context, provide medical care. So we began to benchmark with the Ritz-Carlton and the Broadmoor. So when we want to provide our guests with an extraordinary experience when they come in here, and I really believe, and I've told my team this, we have 70 on staff, and I've told them, I said, the way we treat our guests, and we call our patients guests, not patients, the way we treat our guests is as important, if not more important, than the treatment we prescribe, because they know that we care about them, we love them, we want them to get what they came in for, and they want to get their health back, or they want to get a baby and be fertile, and we want to help them get what they want, and we want to do it in an environment that they feel comfortable, loved, appreciated, affirmed, and that's what we do here. And we have a wonderful staff here, and I just give credit to all the leaders that we have on our teams, and all the key members of our teams, and what a wonderful job they do in providing extraordinary hospitality and guest service. We think that makes a big difference, and I think you experienced that.
I did.
Well, thank you, Natalie, for joining us today. God bless you, and God bless those kids, Ella Grace, Ellie, and Emmy, and God bless Micheal Burt, Coach Burt, too.
Thank you for having me. It was good to see you.
You tell him, Ella. Okay. It was great having you, Natalie. God bless you, dear.
Thank you.
Bye.
At Physicians Preference Pharmacy, we believe that personalized medical treatment and customized medications are the best way to help you achieve your healthcare goals. Sometimes this requires adjusting the dosage form of the medication from something like an oral capsule to a tablet which dissolves underneath the tongue. This is called a sublingual tablet. Sub meaning under, lingual meaning tongue, under the tongue. And there are several reasons why your doctor may want your medications to be custom made into a sublingual tablet. Perhaps you have trouble swallowing capsules or difficulty absorbing medications. With sublingual tablets, you still get the treatment you need in a way that is effective for you. Tablets made here at Physician's Preference Pharmacy are designed to dissolve fully under the tongue in just a few minutes and offer an additional option for you to achieve your healthcare goals.
Information provided on this program is neither intended nor implied to be a substitute for professional medical advice and is not intended to replace the services of a physician, nor does it constitute a doctor-patient relationship. You should not use information from this radio program to diagnose or treat a health problem or disease without consulting with a qualified healthcare provider. If you have or suspect you have an urgent medical problem, promptly contact a professional healthcare provider or call 911. Dr. Hotze's Wellness Revolution advises you to always seek the advice of a physician or other qualified health provider prior to starting any new treatment or with any questions you may have regarding a medical condition. Any application of the recommendations from this program is at the listener's discretion.